Hi and welcome to Having a Yarn. My name is Kacy and today I'm going to be showing you what I've been up to recently. So the first thing that I want to talk about are my finished objects. So all three of my finished objects that I'm going to be sharing today, I don't actually have with me, so I'm going to be popping up some images that I've taken, but they've all been gifts for people, so they've all gone to their kind of new homes. The first one that I'm going to be sharing with you is a jumper that I made for my nephew. So my little nephew Jack, who is the love of my life, has just turned, what's the date today? He's almost 8 months old. So I previously have made a few of the flax sweaters by Tin Can Knits. I first made one for a friend of mine for her little baby, and then I made one for myself, which was the kind of the green one, and then I made one for my nephew, so that's the one that I've just finished. So I did this one in the Lion brand Feels Like Butter. It turned out so cute. I love doing little baby jumpers because they're so quick to make. I really love the pattern. It's a really beginner friendly, so I'm not that experienced with knitting, particularly knitting jumpers. So I think the flax was the second one that I knit after the one that I'm wearing now. And yeah, I found it really easy. It's like a raglan in creases around kind of the neckline. And then, yeah, just a simple kind of stockinette stitch in the round. So all you're doing is just knit stitches for most of it. Also, for my nephew as well, I made the Jungle Babies Mobile. And it's by Little Stuff. So she has a website, which is just littlestuff.me, M-E. And she does all of these kind of like felt stuffies and like hand embroidered like kind of felt toys and mobiles and things like that. And it turned out so flippin' cute. I love it so much. I did end up actually machine sewing some of them because I was like, oh my god, he's going to be 18 years old before I get this thing done. So I just, thought I would just go ahead and machine sew some of it. And my third finished object has been in the works for a little while now. The Horizon Jumpers by Little Golden Nook. I just fell in love with the Horizon Jumpers because of the bubble stitch detail like over the chest area. They kind of actually raised off the jumper. So it's this really nice kind of textural detail as well. I was making two of these. So my friend has a set of twins, a boy and a girl. The wool that I used was this wool that I found actually in Spotlight. So it's this Shepherd Perrindale 8-ply. And it's actually 100% New Zealand Perrindale wool. And it just came in these, just the colour palette I just adored. I made one in kind of a grey colour and one in a teal colour. It was really enjoyable to do. It'd been a while since I'd done much of kind of crocheting. I'd gotten a little bit more into knitting. But I think the only thing that I would say about this pattern, if you're going to make it, is that I feel like it's very long, like the sleeves were very long, the body was very long, but it's very narrow. So it kind of fit them width-wise, but then did fit them like lengthwise. Yeah, so that's my kind of three finished objects. So works in progress. Okay, so it was definitely close to being abandoned because I have been doing this project since I first started crocheting. It was one of my first kind of projects. I probably had maybe 2 blankets under my belt and discovered kind of colour pooling or planned pooling. So if you don't know what that is, it's basically when you have stripy yarn, what you can do is you can basically plan it so that all the colours fall in a particular order to create a pattern. So there was a pattern by Repeat Crafter Me that was really popular a couple of years ago, which is when I started this project, which basically uses a self-striping yarn to create this, is it argyle? It's quite amazing really because all you're using is like a single ball of wool that automatically changes colours. Here's a nicer one here. This is the Karen Simply Soft Stripes. I don't know, I just, like it's cute, but I don't love it that much, and I don't at the moment have a particular person in mind for it. I think I just really wanted to try the technique. So yeah, the Pattern by Repeat Crafter Me basically is just using double crochets, and that's US double crochets, and it's the little granny clusters basically. So each colour you need to end up getting like it's a granny cluster of 3 double crochets, and you need to get 6 of these clusters. You have to adjust your tension as you're crocheting to make sure that when you get to the end of your 6th granny cluster that you're at the end of that colour. And then I've got the Karen Simply Soft just in this navy, which I'm going to do a border around the edge when I'm finished. I'll probably do maybe just a simple kind of single crochet border. I'll start with a single crochet all the way around and then kind of decide whether or not I want to like do like a scalloped edge or something like that. Okay, so my other work in progress is the Memory Throw by Narissa Muges. I butchered your name, I'm sorry Narissa. But it was basically in the Sheepies, one of their issues. It's super gorgeous, and I'm using all of these little mini Sheepies stone washed and river washed minis. I love this project because I love colour, but often if I'm making garments and stuff, I'm not going to be making stuff out of like rainbow things because that's not my jam. But I think this is just such a beautiful throw that's kind of, I don't know, muted in style, but it just means that you actually get to use a lot of colours that you maybe normally wouldn't, but they all go together really well. And so each square, I've only done one so far. Each of those little mini skeins will give me kind of, that's just the inside of one of them, and then of course the white part will go around the edge of each of these. But I reckon once I've done a few of them, it'll become a lot more easy just to go through and be able to do them without thinking too much. That's my kind of 2 works in progress at the moment. Beautiful. So a couple of future projects. I have previously spoken that I want to do the Embers sweater by Tin Can Knits. It's a really simple kind of cropped jumper with like a little bit of like very simple modern colour work, where it rather than being like Fair Isle, like all these patterns, it's pretty much just these stripes during at the top of the yoke. I've just been kind of in the back of my mind thinking about what wool that I'd like to use for it. So I found some like these extra fine merino, which I really loved, but then also it was very expensive. So I thought in the end, like I'd rather get something that is a little bit cheaper, because if you get some of these like super fine merinos and all of that, and you want to do a whole like jumper, it can be hundreds of dollars. I had a look on Knitpicks, and I'd also love it if anyone has any suggestions of what kind of wool that they would suggest for this, and that is kind of affordable. I'd love to know, and maybe you can write a comment down below. I want something that's like quite soft, quite flowy. The Embers needs a fingering weight or a 4-ply, and I want something. So I want to do the same colours that's in the pattern. So I did find on Knitpicks the one called Palette. So they basically have like, I don't know, over 100 different colours, I believe, of wool, which I thought is absolutely perfect because then I can get the exact shades I'm after. And then finally, that's right. So I have some wool here that my dad and stepmom got me when they were in Europe. I've got 2 balls of this kind of lighter grey and 2 balls of this darker grey. I think it's 100% wool. It's all in, I'm going to say maybe German. I can't remember where they got it in Europe. I'm going to say it would be a worsted weight. I'm just trying to figure out what to do with it. So if anyone has any suggestions on some nice patterns, I'd love to hear about it. But the one that I am thinking of is the Pianissimo scarf from the Pom Pom magazine. I like it because it's just quite simple but like textured. So it's got some kind of, because it's only the 2 colours, but it just has some really nice interesting texture in there. Cool, so I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more. I'll see you later. Bye!